Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am so happy to have joining you here straight away. Run into the studio and start straight away. How are you all? Ramadan Kareem to all of you in Leicester, wherever you are listening from right now. If you are far away and in another country, then I want you to put your right hand up so I know that it is you who is there. We are communicating, of course, with energy. We know who is where in this world of AI today. Anybody can be located anywhere in the world. So today you're listening to Zed on the Real Talk with Zed program on Ramadan.fm. And you know, as normal, I always tell you our studio line 011648222086. So if you have not memorized it already, now is your time. And our WhatsApp is 077488555055. If you're going to send a message from another country, then it's 00 or +44, and you'll dial omitting the 0. So now we are almost a third of Ramadan is gone so quick at a blink of an eye. Got 2/3 to go, lots of good thoughts, lot of excellent things to achieve. It's a time of giving, and we must not stop here. Our guest has walked straight in. Come on in, come and join us, right? Join us. We have Chris has brought his own water bottle with him. Is that water safe to drink, Chris?
That is safe to drink, I think.
Yeah? Okay. So Chris has brought a bottle which is not branded. Because you're okay over there, Chris.
Sure?
Yeah, Chris, if you can, I'll ask the studio to come and set your mic up there.
Yeah.
And they'll do that for you. So this is live. Everything goes here. And how are you, Chris?
I'm all right. Let me sit there. I'll sit next to
Okay,
you.
Chris feels better sitting
I
next to
agree.
me.
And look, that's a Davos bottle for you.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Chris, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I see we missed each other at Davos, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Yeah, and it was a wonderful trip, Chris.
It was so good.
So Chris is going to introduce what he does here in this journey of life. Chris, what have you been doing with each other?
What have I been doing? Well, I think, to be honest, I've been working on connecting people and planet. I think that is the nutshell of the entire
Okay,
conversation.
I'm going to make that easy for you now. Connecting people and planet is all about carbon footprint and about sustainability. So if you know what sustainability is all about, I want you to put your right hand up right now. And I want you to think as to where this planet is going, Chris. Where is this planet going, Chris?
100%. Well, to be honest, I'd like to open it up a little bit more than that. So I think this is one of the main challenges that we face, that when we talk about people and planet, we think about carbon, we think about sustainability in these aspects, and it's a much, much bigger picture. And I think that's one of the messages that I try to get across, that when you talk about people and planet, it involves so many things, that it's not just the environment, it's holistic well-being, it's wellness, it's mental health, it's planetary boundaries, it's work, it's economic employment. And I think it's about the connection between people realizing that their bodies is just an extension of the very planet. So when people say, for instance, we have a climate crisis, I try to reword that, because I think we have a humanitarian crisis.
Of course, and I got to take it a step further now. When we talk about climate crisis, we talk about sustainability, we talk about carbon footprint, but what about human beings?
100%.
Right? What are we doing to sustain human beings? If you see, all around the world, there's about 5 places in the world, war, killing, mass killing of human beings, no regard whatsoever, children, women, indiscriminately being shot, sniper shot. Now, when you see atrocities like that being committed across the globe, what's that all about? You know, are we trying to save the planet, or are we trying to destroy the planet by killing human beings indiscriminately?
I think one of the things we need to look at is, where did humanity come from and where are we going? And I think that's the thing, that when we see ourselves as different from the planet, right? Going back to the connecting people and planet, when you see yourself as different from the planet, you're definitely seeing yourself different from others, right? And we start to pigeonhole people, and we pigeonhole races, genders, all of these things, and we live in silos. We literally segregate right down to, you know, if you want to go into religion or to different things like that, it's not just, you know, a Christian. It's a Protestant Christian. It's a male Protestant Christian, right? It's a male that lives in Leicester who's a Protestant Christian, etc., right? Muslim, Sunni, Shiite, the whole thing. So I think the problem with humanity is that we're not united, that we see ourselves so differently, when if we just saw ourselves as an extension of the planet, and we have this responsibility not just to the world, the planet, and the environment, but to each other, then I think we start to make progress and headway.
Of course, Chris, we are covering topics that you have mentioned in terms of governance, of where humanity is going with our governance, which is all based around caste, color, creed, culture, 100%. Religion. We call it the 4 C's, you know, caste,
Yep.
color, creed, culture.
Yep.
And then comes along the traditions, then comes along the religion, and how everything is manipulated
Yep.
to create
Division.
a social design called Big D. The Big D is a division in ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, division has been there since the beginning of time. The colonial period excelled upon it,
100%.
right? And now what people have got to understand is that we are now taking it to another level, which is the digital revolution. So along with that will come the digital colonization
The
of
digital
human beings.
divide, 100%.
Are we ready for that?
Well,
Are we aware of that?
I think we are aware of that, and if we want to drop into Davos here, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Here we come, Davos.
Here we come. We were both there just a couple of months ago. But if you look at this, you know, I was actually sitting on a panel where they were speaking about AI has already become racist and biased.
Exactly.
Right? But
Yeah.
I'm going to go deeper with this, right? So when you ask AI, generate me an image of 5 successful people, the image that is created is generally male. The majority of the image was male. They were slim. They were wearing suits, and they were white people, right? And then they said, show me an image of 5 unsuccessful people, right? And the AI image developed, and it showed the majority of it women, and especially women of color. And when this came about, there was a massive, obviously, investigation that they started saying, how was AI taking these completely untrue facts and making these assumptions? And what they found is that the people that are coding AI, right, and this is where it gets deep, the people that are coding AI are putting their unconscious biases into the prompts, right? But when they looked at this, for this organization specifically, the people that were actually doing these prompts weren't the people who you think it was. They were people of color, they were women, they were white people, and so forth. So actually, it wasn't even like there was this agenda by a specific group of people. This unconscious, this bias that we have in our minds has already been created and formed. And that's one of the problems, that AI in itself is becoming divided, is biased, is becoming racist. And you've seen that on multiple occasions.
Yeah, so we have now the digital wars coming upon us. And we are at Davos, there was a big emphasis on sustainability, on carbon footprint, but there was an even bigger emphasis on AI across industry, right? Now, AI can be your friend.
100%.
AI can be manipulated, but the biggest exponents of AI tomorrow are going to be our governing bodies, our governments, because AI has the ability to redefine our government, our governance of our city, generally across the board. What the programs that we used to see in the late 60s, in the 70s, early 80s, they were fiction. They called them science fiction. But really, if you look back, 50 years later, what we saw in the 80s, in the 90s, is happening, isn't it?
Well, that's manifestation, right? In a nutshell, that's, as you think you become, as you think you believe, as you believe you become, right?
That's right.
So they put that out there, and the thing is, I'm excited by the future. I am a forever optimist.
Chris, having said that, I met my grandson, and I looked at him and I says, I want to be him.
Yeah,
Because there's some exciting times ahead.
100%.
He's 3 years old, but in 25 years, he is going to be doing something super exciting.
100%.
And if AI is used in the correct manner,
Yes.
and it's not used as a tool of digital warfare,
Yep.
supremacy,
Yep.
the digital colonization,
Yep.
then I think we have exciting times ahead where we will be able to fix the problem of division.
But I think this goes right back to, what I said about people
Yeah.
and planet, right?
That's right, yeah.
It goes back to that AI, climate change, wars, divides, all of these things can be pointed back to a single entity, and that entity is a human being, right?
Of course, now that is, we are the creation. Yes? God, whichever religion you are practicing, God is a creator. Yes?
Yes.
Are we in agreement on that?
We
Chris?
are in agreement
No
on that.
fight on that, no debate. None of that. Do you condemn?
Listen,
None of that, right?
I do not condemn. I
Okay.
believe
So
everyone
God
has their
is
own.
the creator. We are the creation, and we have been blessed with that wonderful brain. We've been blessed with all kinds of mechanism. Let's call it a modulator. Yes?
Yes.
In the brain. So we have a thought, a good thought. We modulate it, and we transfer that into frequency. Yeah? Immediately.
100%.
Faster than AI can.
Yep.
Yes? Now, all that, when we think about it, we are the actual intelligence.
100%.
Now, AI, we are the big AI. The small I is in the artificial intelligence. If it was not for us with the actual intelligence, we could not have the AI, artificial intelligence.
100%. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that, I'm not talking religiously here, but to go on what you were saying, if we're created in God's image, right? God created us. And in certain religions, it says we are created in his image, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, God creates. So what do we do as well? We have now started to create. We create children, we create homes, we create AI, right?
Yeah.
So what it is that when you look at creation, with creation comes a responsibility. And I think that's the thing that this world is missing, that there is a responsibility and an accountability.
Chris, let's go to 25 years ahead.
Go on.
Right? Let's become historians.
Okay, I'm ready.
Unbiased historians. We're going to write the book to say that 25 years ago, today, humanity was a total letdown, was a disservice to humanity.
I disagree.
We sat back and we said that killing is permissible.
I disagree
And
with
25 years later, AI will make good decisions for us. Let's pray that that happens and not be negative.
All right, my take on this, right? I think the problem is once again, even us by saying that, right, we discredit and discount the amazing things that are happening every day around the world, right? We are discounting the amazing things that happen in this city of Leicester every day, every act of kindness, every seva, everything that we do, right? All of these beautiful acts that aren't celebrated, they're not reported, they're not on social media.
That's
that
right,
I
yeah.
honestly believe that collectively, this planet is doing far more good than bad. But like you said, that construct of the media, that construct,
The media bias.
the bias, that makes us think.
Those are the points that I'm referring to, that we are both historians in 25 years' time that will be writing about the media bias, those who kept silent, those who sat back and did nothing, those editors out there, their editorial content, they did not make the right decisions because they were swayed by the FTM.
What's that?
You don't know what the FTM is, Chris?
No, I don't.
It's follow the money.
Okay,
Right?
FTM.
Follow the money. And that is what will go down in history, right? Be on the right side of history. First, we must love and take care of the human beings that are living.
Can I say something about history? Break the word down, right? What is history? His story, right?
Exactly, yeah.
His story. It's a man's story. And that's another thing here, right? When we're talking about equality and we're talking about history, the fact is, you know, women have been written out of history how many times, right? Women are on the front lines every day doing amazing things for people around the world.
Well, you mentioned that it was International Women's Day.
No, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's why I want to bring this up.
You
that
recall that?
I do. I was at Freeva yesterday,
Yeah.
with an amazing organisation actually supporting International Women's Week and Day, and it was actually really sad because I was one of 3 men in a room of 200 people. Why are there not enough men supporting women? Simple as that.
One of 3 men only?
One of 3 men.
And you didn't call me to make it 4?
You were busy. You was on the radio.
Right.
But no, this is what I mean when I keep going back to that connecting people and planet, right? That's why that's our mission on a bigger holistic level, because like there are so many problems, right? But when we start to connect back to the planet and to see ourselves, man, woman, different race, different creeds, different gender, when we see ourselves as one united energy, then domestic violence will stop, wars will stop, gender-based violence will stop. All of these things, when we see a woman as equal to us, when we see a man as equal to us, when we see a person of color, a person of no color equal to us, right? When everyone has equality,
That's right.
that's the world I'm looking for.
That is where I'm going to talk to the world now, that AI is going to fix that problem, right? Where we will see true equality. And if you see now, right this minute as we speak, 6 countries are taking the lead in this direction. Now, I guarantee you that 2 or 3 of them are not going in the right direction because they are more concerned with the power to be maintain superpower status. And UK is one of the countries there. And I was having a discussion with a person in law enforcement to say that, look, I would rather you put tools into action for prevention than put tools into action for cure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that rule applies across the globe on every aspect of our living days. Prevention is the way forward, not cure.
100%.
Right? From pharma industry shoving tablets into our bodies,
Pesticides,
our ocean corruption,
plastic pollution.
right? And we can go on forever. Now we got 15 minutes, and if we make a list here, we'll still be only halfway
100%.
through, right? In the world now, 25 years ago, I keep referring to 25 years yesterday. What did we see? We saw population, world population from 8 billion today, 247,000, to what was the figure 25 years ago?
I have no idea.
6,290,000,000.
Okay.
Yes? So we have grown. The population has grown. Along with that, our contamination to the ocean has grown.
Massively.
Right? Now, you talk to us about that because you are the one who has done a lot of work in that field.
Yeah, 100%. So I run UOcean Leicester, UOcean globally. So the idea is that we are a community conservation organisation, local but global. So we're cleaning plastics out the River Soar in Leicester, all the way to beaches in Bali and Hong Kong and Singapore. And the idea is about getting communities to take ownership of their decisions, right? From not polluting, not throwing things on the ground, to then removing the damage that's already happened. In Leicester, we've removed over 15,000 kilos of plastic out of the River Soar. And that's with the community. That's not the government. That's not big organizations. That's the community coming out.
Now, what makes me sad is why is it left for the community to fix a problem which could have been fixed by the government in the first place?
I would like to challenge that, to be
Right.
honest. It wasn't the government that threw the plastic on the floor in the first place.
It wasn't. But if the correct measures are put in place at the front end, you wouldn't have the community to blame.
See, I disagree, because this is the problem, that if a community is not educated, right, we can't be, that's how you get a big brother state, when you have a dumb population of uneducated people that need someone else to make decisions for them.
That is a part of liberal democracy, Chris.
No, that's a dictatorship for me. What I think it is, because if someone can't make their own decision, that's the problem. We need, right, and think about this. Look, your background, my background, right? Our communities, our lineage for thousands of years have been sustainable, right? Yeah? They're sustainable.
And thanks to God for that.
Yeah, but the only reason why it was sustainable is because we didn't have polluting products, right? We still threw our rice leaves, our banana skin leaves, all the stuff, right? We threw it still into the back of the house, right? And thank God it rotted down. But the fact is, our actions were, yeah, we did reuse certain things, etc.
Now I'm going to bring you back to the power of tomorrow. Tomorrow's world will equip us with the data, analytical data, reactive data, which will enable us to tackle many issues, including all
Ocean
the issues
plastics.
of ocean plastics. And we will be able to get a result.
But do you know what I fear, right? Is that, and we're doing this already, we have the data, right? We know how much plastic pollution is in the ocean. We know how much plastic pollution is in our very own River Soar, right? There's been 100 grand spent on it, right? By organizations. So the fact is, we know these things, but the issue that we have is that people aren't taking action. So my issue is that with the data, with AI, with progress, if we don't fix ourselves first, we'll have the results, right?
Well, Chris,
and we
you
won't
have
take
a
action.
you have a strong supporter in me to work alongside with you.
Thank
right?
you.
And to support the work that you are doing. And all of you listening in Leicester right now, take note of what Chris is talking about. It's your planet, your children, your grandchildren tomorrow. So get involved in meaningful programs across your city, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the city, in England, and network. And likewise, network not only in the work that Chris is doing in ocean plastic pollution, but across the board in every sector.
100%.
Yes?
Yes.
To do with your governance. Don't sit here and wait for your member of parliament or your councillor to make it happen. Be part of the solution.
Gandhi said it best, right? Be the change that you seek in the world.
Yes, he did. He sure did. Always I have quoted that, be the change that you want to see in this
100%.
world, right? And be an ATC, adapt to change.
ATC. You're teaching me all
adapt
the
to
new
change.
lingo today.
We all
I feel old.
We all have to do that. Now, if I am propagating throughout this month of Ramadan that let's think 25 years ahead and let's get our children, our grandchildren ready for that period. Let's get them ready now.
100%.
In every sector of our community. Let's all join hands. And right now, this month, my concern, all my emotions are going towards the United Gaza project delivered from Leicester. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not, no.
United Gaza is all about now rebuilding the lives of all the people that have been
Okay.
decimated.
Okay.
Chris, after the program, I'm going to show you some pictures, and you will then do a comparison between the inhumanity that we do to human beings against what you saw, what your great-great-grandfather saw at the time of the Holocaust. Yes? And they are very, very frightening, these pictures, to see. Of course, you will say they are photoshops, but there's so many examples of...
You see this around the world. You know, a perfect example of this was all the Buddha statues that were blown up in Afghanistan by the Taliban. And they were wiping out the history of that country, right?
Yeah.
And they were blowing it up and all that kind of stuff. It's the same across the Middle East, though, where you had these beautiful cities that lived in peace, that lived in, and to be honest, they were far more advanced, right? If you look at Iraq and these places, they were the hubs of life. They started society in a lot of places, right? And the knowledge, unfortunately, and the customs have actually been deconstructed.
Well, Chris, it's very sad for me to say to you right now that all these things you mentioned, they have a reason behind them. There have always been atrocities in those regions, but when the empire came, they excelled and drew the maps and installed regimes, and up to today they are busy changing regimes, right?
But I think that's why
And defining a narrative, which is not my narrative, which is not your narrative. And this is where all the people in the world have to wake up, and I truly believe that our world will be in a better shape with the AI.
Okay.
Where we
You put a lot of faith in AI.
Oh, for sure. After my visit to Davos, I was a converted person.
See, I still put my faith in God.
Right. Davos, for those of you who don't know, is a get-together, invite only, in Switzerland each year, and it also is known as a World Economic Forum. Yeah? And I always say World Empowerment, but it's World Economic Forum.
It should be empowerment.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And it's there. Of course, it empowers us. When we go there, we meet so many wonderful people, and we meet so many new technologies to come for tomorrow in terms of your finances, your businesses, your communities, your carbon footprint, your sustainability, and you learn a lot of things, So somebody's calling. Now we have to find...
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, let's see who's on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
हेलो
Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम जी ये मैं मुफ्ती साहब से बात कर रही हूँ
No, Mufti is not here. You're talking to Zed on the Real Talk Zed program. क्या बात करनी थी आपने?
I just want to ask one question.
Yes.
Do you want a piece of paper? Take a message.
Yeah, go on, ask. If I can answer, I will do that to the best of my ability. Okay, sometimes we get a caller and they're a little bit shy and... Sister, are you still there? Okay. She's put the phone down. There you are. This is it. This live radio. This is what goes on. You gotta,
we got excited there
yeah,
for
we got
a good question that was coming.
And like that, Of course, it's not a topic we can cover in 45 minutes. We're going to continue these topics and bring awareness to the people of Leicester.
100%.
Bring awareness to the whole world, as a matter of fact, right? If you are anywhere in the world right now listening, give me a wave with your right hand and I'll pick that up. How's that, Chris?
Sounds like
Anybody got a question for Chris? Then do call in again. You can call in on 0116 4822 or you can send a WhatsApp message on 077 488 55055. So, Chris, I'm sorry that we are going so fast.
It's all right.
We have little time.
We do.
We have a lot to talk about.
I think we do.
Of course, no doubt we shall continue this conversation, right?
100%.
When we come on the radio, we come here for meaning, reason, achievement.
100%.
Something must come out of this program, Chris. We cannot just leave it be.
I think a lot of the times, though, these conversations are what's needed because they're thought-provoking. That's what we need. We need more people to think. And I think that's one of the issues. When we talk about AI, just like that, right? AI is a great thing, but it thinks for us. And the problem is that we've been letting multiple people, organizations, powers that be, whatever you want to call it, think for us for a long time. So the new awakening that we need is for people to start thinking for themselves, to make decisions for themselves, not by their community, not by their religion, not by, for themselves, right?
Of course, what Chris is trying to explain, if I'm right to understand, is narrative is based upon an informed, factual decision based on the laws of law, governance, constitution, and humanity.
Mind.
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 It all
I want
comes
people
down-
to think
yeah.
out there.
And when they get information on their app, then they will make informed decisions. And that is the way, the direction we are heading, where we destroy the myth of yesterday, which is the caste, color, creed, culture.
Yep.
And
We just give it a different label.
we give it a different label.
It's still going on,
Yeah.
right? It's still going on, just under a new label.
I see it on the street.
Yep.
I experience it in my daily living. And if people say, no, that doesn't go on, no, I'm sorry.
It's like when people say, you know, in the UK, we've solved a lot of racist stuff, racism, like in the workplace. No, we've not. It's just not spoken about anymore. That's the difference, right? It's not gone away. It's just, it's seen, though, between pay gap differences,
Yeah.
gender pay gap differences. It's seen between, you know, people of color pay gap differences. So these problems, and that's one of the issues that I think the modern day does, is that there are really important issues that need addressing, but we say, oh, they've been solved, but they're not. They've just gone undercover and behind closed doors, right? People talk about the glass ceiling at work, right? How do we raise people up, you know, the community up? How do we raise people of color, etc., to up this thing? Well, the fact is we call it a glass ceiling because it shows transparency. But we know for a fact it's not a glass ceiling. It's an opaque ceiling, and we know exactly who's above it. So it's one of these things that all of these topics still exist. Yeah, there are progress and things are getting better, but we can't let go of things that really matter to us, and that is equality between everyone.
Yeah, you know, Chris, often when we are doing radio programs, and we always get some of the listeners who have a sense of humor, right? And
Oh, jeez.
one of them has asked me a question.
What does it say?
He says, I bet Chris does not know how many times a certain presenter worldwide has said the word, do you condemn? Now, I won't name him because I don't want to advertise his name and give him free publicity, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to guess who that is. I'll give you his initial only. It's linked with PM. How many times would he have said, do you condemn, do you condemn?
I think it's the narrative, right? That's a loaded narrative.
Loaded narrative.
It's a proper loaded narrative. I think, do you know what? This, in response to the question, I think that's when I say that we need to think for ourselves. Because when we're listening to these kind of narratives, that's the problem, that then we side and we make opinions. But when we think to ourselves, is it right to hurt another human being? Is it right to treat someone differently because of their religion? You know, these things, actually, no, it's wrong to discriminate against anyone.
Says,
right?
here's another one. Look, Ibrahim Makta, he's asking, can we join Zed in cleaning up the River So?
Ibrahim Makta, you are my best friend. All right.
Yeah.
So let's put it out on radio and have some accountability
That's right.
here, right?
Yeah.
Zed, when are you coming out on the River Soar with me to clear up plastics from our home city?
If I'm around,
No, not if, when.
I'm in the plastics industry, so I will first have a look to see if any of that plastic is down to me, and then we'll have
Or
another
the
discussion
people
on
you've
that.
sold it to?
Yeah, people are sold it to. Now, guys, we are moving very fast, and we've only got 15 seconds left. So, Chris, I'd like you to say your goodbye to everyone, and then we shall pick up again.
All right. Thank you for having me on. Hold Zed accountable to coming out on the River Soar with us to clean
Jazakallah
up.
khair, brothers. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. with another wonderful guest.